Today we're checking out another mini PC. This is the SER6 Pro. I want to thank them for sending this over to review on the channel. I'll leave current pricing and more information down in the description below. But this one is probably the most powerful mini PC I've tested so far. As you can see on the box, this one has 8 cores, 16 threads, up to 4.7 gigahertz. It's got the AMD Ryzen 7 6800H processor. It's got 32 gigabytes of RAM, so 2 16 gigabyte DDR5 sticks, 500 gigabytes of SSD storage. It's got a Radeon 680M 2.2 gigahertz graphics card. It's got Wi-Fi 6, Bluetooth 5.2, comes with Windows 11 Pro. Inside the box, you've got a user manual. Looks like they also throw in a different cover there for the top of the PC. You've got your power cable, wall-mounted bracket, HDMI cables are included. Okay, I wasn't expecting a different color here. Looks like the metal housing is actually some kind of bluish, almost green color. Here on the front, you've got a headphone jack, USB 4 port, you've got 2 USB 3.2 ports, RTC key there as well. Pretty similar design as the other Beelink mini PCs that I've looked at, but I like how they changed the color up on this one and the different material there on the top as well. On the back is your Ethernet port. You've got a USB 2.0 port. You've got another USB 3.2 port there as well. 2 HDMI ports and where you plug in the power. You can also run an external graphics card with this one. Also has a dual fan design with a CPU and system fan. So I did some quick testing on here, and the 3D Mark scores are quite a bit higher than the Beelink SEI12 Pro that I tested recently, and I thought that mini PC was pretty decent as far as performance goes. I also ran some Geekbench testing on here, and surprisingly this one's actually lower on single and multi-core scores compared to the SEI12 Pro. And just for comparison, the scores on this one are a little bit higher than the Mac Mini from 2020 for multi-core scores, then just a tad lower on single core scores. But keep in mind, this is only about a quarter of the size of a Mac Mini, which is pretty crazy. So overall, the numbers seem pretty impressive for such a small PC. And in case you didn't know, you can actually edit 4K video on here. Scrubbing back and forth in Premiere Pro doesn't seem to stutter. Just really good performance as far as video editing goes. In my testing so far, I probably should use something like this to edit my YouTube videos for a while just to see how it does after using for a longer period of time. But so far, it's pretty impressive. I did notice some dropped frames when watching 4K videos on YouTube, but still pretty good at under 10 frames dropped for the videos I was testing. It's also pretty quiet for the most part when editing videos. One thing I did notice is during gaming, it does get a little bit warm there on the back. And after running the initial test for Forza Horizon 5, it suggested 60 frames per second, which seems to run fine on those settings. And it actually looks good as far as the graphics go. Now, obviously, depending on what types of games you'll play, will determine how good this is at gaming. But when I tested Rocket League, it seems to be okay on the lower settings, but when you've got it set at higher resolutions, it does seem to stutter quite a bit. I had to drop the frame rates down to about 30. It was playable, just not going to compete against normal size gaming PCs. Again, probably going to depend on which games you play, because Forza Horizon 5 actually plays pretty smooth on here. So if you're going to use this for an everyday work computer in your home office, maybe some video editing, graphic design stuff, or doing some gaming as well, it actually performs much better than you would think for a computer this size, which is really nice. This is going to take up hardly any space at all. You could even put this underneath your desk or behind the monitor so you don't even see it. I'd have to compare this a little closer to the Beelink SEI12 Pro, but my first impressions is this might be the best mini PC that I've tested so far. So if you've made it this far into the video, you may want to say thanks by subscribing, and don't forget to give a thumbs up if this video was helpful. This is Brian from Fishbee Productions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.